Brandon Beack is the South African para-athlete and co-founder of the Walking with Brandon Foundation. His optimism and tenacity have helped him overcome adversities, showing others what is achievable through hard work and a positive mindset. Brandon is passionate about motivating others, spreading disability awareness, and breaking the negative stigma that society has attached to disabilities. He aims to empower others to find their true potential. Ladies and gentlemen, Brandon Beack, Walking with Brandon.
It was 2012. I was 16. A musician, a dancer, but most of all, a gymnast with a big dream of representing my country at the Olympics. I was in the prime of my life, training 2 to 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. It was my first year competing at junior Olympic level, and I had my biggest season ahead of me yet. It was a Wednesday. I was doing my normal parallel bar routine. I went for my back somersault dismount off the side, and I let go too early. I missed the safety mats entirely. And when my head hit that concrete, I felt a crack and a shockwave went through my body. I laid on the floor, numb, in a pool of blood, thinking that everything is over. My life is over. My dream of the Olympics is gone, and this is how my life ends. In fact, it was just the beginning. They rushed me to hospital where they stabilized me, and the doctors told my parents, "Your son broke his neck and is now paralyzed." Me, this 16-year-old kid with his life ahead of him, paralyzed. They were broken. I, however, was lying in a hospital bed, laughing away with my friends, always finding light in the dark moments, but I was also high as a kite on morphine. 12 hard weeks of inpatient therapy, and the doctor said I was going to be like this for life, quadriplegic. I couldn't even pick up a jelly baby with my fingers or dress myself, bathe myself, feed myself, brush my own teeth. They said I had 2 years to see any improvements if I was lucky. I said, hell no. I'm not going to let someone else determine what my future is going to be. I'm not going to take this sitting down, even though I kind of had to. I was sent home to learn this new life with a disability, and we traveled all over getting therapy from different people and saw very little recovery until my mom found the perfect place. The only problem was in America, the Shepherd Center. When I arrived there, I felt like my eyes were open to a whole new world of possibilities. The standard of therapy was next level. The equipment was state of the art. I was meeting people, young and old, living their best life and not letting their disability stop them. Some even told me how they were still seeing improvements years down the line. I don't have 2 years, like I was told. It's a lifelong process, and it's going to take time and hard work. So 6 weeks of intense therapy, and I returned home. We did tests on certain muscle groups and found a 20 to 70% muscle function increase in 6 weeks. That's more than I recovered over a year here in South Africa. And I realized I'm capable of so much more than I expected. Yes, I want to walk again, but I can also still live my life. I was still reliant on carers and loved ones to assist me, and I needed my independence back. So I continued that same therapy I was exposed to in America. I did so much therapy, filled with tears and frustration and patience. It took me 5 years to be able to say, I am totally independent. I've recovered down to my lower back. I've gained back full function of my arms and hands. I can drive a car. I live with my beautiful girlfriend. And the crazy thing is, I still see improvements 10 years later. During this time, I realized how other people could benefit from this same therapy I was exposed to. So we started up a non-profit organization called the Walking with Brandon Foundation. We offer South Africa's first outpatient neurological rehabilitation program at an affordable rate. We've helped over 200 people with disabilities improve their quality of life and achieve things that they thought was impossible. That just shows I'm not the only one. Each one of them saw improvements because they picked themselves up and they kept pushing. I eventually started to get a little bit bored though, around 2015, doing therapy day in and day out, and I craved something more. I craved something to aspire to. And I thought, why not try sports? I was an athlete after all. So I did. Specifically seated shot put and discus and wheelchair racing, 100-meter sprints because I hated cardio. A year later, I did my first international competition in Prague. I came home with a gold medal. I was on top of the world. I got an international medal for the first time. And suddenly, old feelings started to come back. And that once faded dream of the Olympics was now clearer than ever. I've got a second chance at this. It's just in a different form, the Paralympics. So I decided to go all in. I chose wheelchair racing as my sport. And since Prague in 2016, I've competed in Paris, London, Switzerland, and Dubai. I remember in 2012, when I was lying in a hospital bed, paralyzed. In 2019, I was lying 9th in the world with my South African colors. The 2020 Tokyo Paralympics was just around the corner, and I decided to give it my best shot. And I did. But when it came to choosing the team, I was first reserve. That hurt. But it was the closest I've ever been to my dream to date. If there's one thing in life that I've learned, it's that shit happens and life doesn't go according to plan. But you can't let that get you down. You can have your downtime, yes, we're all human. But what are you going to do about it? Don't let other people limit you and seek solutions. It's going to be tough, but you're not alone. There's so many other people out there going through their own struggles, but they're pushing through. And if they can do it, so can you. But most of all, never give up on your dreams. Because you don't know what you're truly capable of until you put the work in. I'm Brandon Beack, and I will never give up. And neither should you.